Women's basketball started way back in 1892. After learning this, it made me wonder more about the history of women's basketball. So I decided to do my capstone research on what people and events have had the most impact on women's college basketball. To answer my question, I researched the people and events that have impacted the game. There were many players that have impacted the sport, but I have identified 3 key figures. The 3 players are Caitlin Clark, Breanna Stewart, and Diana Taurasi. The most impactful player is Caitlin Clark. She had a phenomenal season this year. Clark netted the most points by a Division I men's or women's player after 100 career games played, in helping advance Iowa to the national championship game. Clark just recently got drafted as the number 1 pick by the Indiana Fever. Her hard work really paid off. The next impactful player is Breanna Stewart. In her college career, Stewart won 151 games and lost 5, which included 4 straight national championships. She's the first NCAA basketball player ever to tally 400 assists and block 400 shots. She was one of the only 6 Huskies with at least 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. Not only did Breanna have an amazing college career, she is now having an amazing WNBA season on the New York Liberty. The last impactful player is Diana Taurasi. As a member of the UConn Huskies, Taurasi showcased her exceptional talent, leading her team to 3, one after the other, NCAA championships from 2002 to 2004. Her remarkable scoring ability, court vision, and leadership skills quickly made her a standout player. It's not surprising that Taurasi and Stewart both played at UConn, just not at the same time, because UConn has produced some of the top female players in history. These are the 3 key figures I identified that have had the greatest impact on women's college basketball. The coaches are very important people in the women's game as they are in the men's game. I have discovered 3 coaches that have stood out the most and made the biggest impact. The 3 are Gino Auriemma, Pat Summitt, and Tara Vanderveer. Starting with the most impactful coach, Gino Auriemma, UConn's celebrated head coach. He has the most NCAA tournament championships of any head coach, beating out John Wooden's 10 titles in men's college basketball. He has led the Connecticut Huskies to 11 national championships and 23 Final Four appearances. Before Auriemma, UConn had just 1 winning season in the program's history. Auriemma has also coached Team USA to 3 Olympic gold medals. The next impactful coach is Pat Summitt, a retired but amazing coach. Summitt spent her entire coaching career leading the Tennessee Lady Vols from 1974 to 2012. She guided them to 8 national championships and 18 Final Four appearances. She was given a Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2012, and she was inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame and Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Summitt also coached Team USA to a gold medal in the 1984 Olympics. The last impactful coach is Tara Vanderveer. Vanderveer currently has the most wins of any head coach, men's or women's, in NCAA history. After her terms at Idaho and Ohio State, she took over as Stanford's head coach in 1985. She has been inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame and Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Vanderveer also coached Team USA to a gold medal in the 1996 Olympics. Although Vanderveer recently retired, her contribution to the women's game won't soon be forgotten. These are the 3 coaches I have discovered that have stood out and made the biggest impact on women's college basketball. Women's college basketball has had a great deal of impactful events over the course of its history. In 1966, the first women's college basketball tournament was played. Fast forward to 1972, Title IX was enacted. The purpose of Title IX was to ensure that male and female students are treated equally and fairly. In 1975, the first women's game was televised nationally. The network believed there were enough viewers, allowing the network to sell advertising space. Many years later, Nike signed with Sheryl Swoopes, the best player at that time, to have a shoe named in her honor, just like Michael Jordan. The timeline that I have identified captures many of the most important events in women's basketball history. Technology also has an impact on women's college basketball. Technology increases the number of viewers, that go or watch women's college basketball games. Television ratings represent the popularity of college basketball. In most years, about 4 million people watch the women's games, compared to the 20 million people who watch the men's games. However, this season, more people watched the women's Iowa vs. LSU game than watched any regular season college football game last year, except for Ohio State versus Michigan. Technology offerings have a great impact on viewers. Overall, researching the people and events has made me realize that each has a great impact on women's college basketball. Now that the WNBA season has started, turn on your TV and watch some of these amazing women's college basketball players in the WNBA.